Hey guys, back with another reaction, and today we're going to be reacting to two videos. So let's start with Flag/Fan Friday.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Flag/Fan Friday. Hope you liked the India episode. Dude, there were so many of you Indian geography peeps that contacted us and wanted to help out with the episode. I couldn't read all of them. There was like over 200, but I did get a lot of great information from you guys,
I think we should
thank
skip
you.
to
Fun
the
side note, I knew
Friday
pretty
part.
much... India, huge country with too much backstory, so many different diverse people groups, but the cool thing is they kind of know how to move forward together. First of all, the flag is a horizontal tricolor of green, white, and Indian saffron. Make sure you distinguish it apart from orange.
I always thought the emblem in the middle was pretty cool. It kind of just distinguishes it from being a regular tricolor flag.
Not orange, it's Indian saffron. And in the middle lies the Ashoka Chakra or the Dharma wheel. The configuration was first proposed...
Oh, it's a Dharma wheel. Yeah, that's really cool. You know, the Dharmic traditions are, Buddhism, Hinduism. So that's a cool nod to that.
By Gandhi back in the 1920s. Later on, the meanings of each color were as follows. The saffron stood for courage, sacrifice, and dedicated leaders. The white for peace and truth, as well as being a light towards the path of truth. And the green for faith, chivalry, and the relation to plant life, which all other life depends on. Now the wheel. Originally, the wheel was meant to depict a traditional fabric spinning wheel to represent the Indian strife for self-reliance. Gandhi was known himself to have fabricated all his own clothing by a spinning wheel, but eventually it took on the image of the Ashoka Chakra or Dharma wheel. Now, what exactly is that? Well, you kind of have to know a little bit about Hinduism. Essentially, the Ashoka Chakra is a 24-spoked wheel that appears on many ancient Indian sites, such as pillars, boulders, and caves. Some might say that the wheel is directly tied in with all Indian religions, Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and Sikhism, as it portrays the law of Dharma, or the cosmic order of things. Now, it's kind of difficult to explain in a short amount of time exactly what it means, but according to the philosopher and former president Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan, it signifies truth and virtue to move forward as the wheel denotes motion, and there's life in motion, as well as dynamism and peaceful change. I hope that's kind of like a somewhat satisfactory summary. I mean, there's a lot more that goes into it, but Eastern philosophy is so complex and it takes too long to condense it into such a short format. Also, keep in mind, they've had a ton of different flags for different kingdoms and empires throughout time. There were independence movement flags, and pretty much all of the princely states and people groups had some kind of symbolic configuration. Too many to list, but you get the point. Now the coat of arms, which is more like an emblem.
That is a really cool coat of arms.
The image was actually taken from the sculpture of the Sarnath lion capital built by the Indian Emperor Ashoka using a single piece of polished
Ashoka. That's cool.
sandstone. The lions are standing on a platform with yet another...
He was a great ruler.
Ashoka Chakra, representing truth and honesty, as well as animals like horses and bulls, most likely representing strength and resilience of the people. Underneath it all is the revered Sanskrit verse, Satyamev Jayate, which translates to something along the lines of, truth always wins, you cannot lie to yourself. Lots of philosophy and mind games when it comes to India. They love that stuff, whereas I'm just like, dang, I like sandwiches. Alright, so that's about it. You know what time it is? Geography fan meal time! So quite a bit of stuff.
That was really cool. I think I'm gonna watch the states plus territories of India explained now, because that was enlightening, that was fascinating, and this should be even more interesting. So let's get into it. All right, the states plus territories of India explained geography now. Starting now.
Before we start, this video is sponsored by a good sponsor that we found, one that I actually believe in and personally endorse, Cetera. It's a geography quiz game. We'll get back to it later. But first, as you guys know, this is a...
And of course, the original video will be in the description box below, so you can always check that out. And if you want to support him, yeah, you can always do that as well.
Filler week video, and by popular request we are doing the states of India. Now the thing about India is that it's actually kind of broken up quite a few times since independence from the original 14 states, mostly because of the people groups or the languages, stuff like that. So before we get into this, just keep in mind I am not Indian. I have never even been to India, so in order to make this video I had to talk to a lot of you guys. I've read a lot of your emails and comments, and I compiled as much information as I possibly could based off of what you guys, the Indian geography peeps, have said. So kind of, if I get anything wrong, it's kind of your fault. So let's just jump into it. The 29 states and the 7 union territories. Andhra Pradesh, the capital Amaravati. Now this is an interesting state because it kind of has like the fastest growing GDP in all of India, over 16% in the past few years. Over here they speak Telugu, and this guy wrote this play, which is kind of considered like the most...
Yeah, and Telugu is not really related to Hindi. I'm pretty sure it's not an Indo-Aryan language. It's a Dravidian language, so that's fascinating.
most prominent Telugu play in all of Indian history. Otherwise, they're famous for the Kuchipudi dance, one of the 8 classical styles of Indian dance. And yeah, they have great beaches and caves.
I had a friend who spoke Telugu.
Arunachal Pradesh, capital Itangar. This is the region that's kind of disputed with China, although it is administered by India. In order to get in as a foreigner, you will need a restricted area permit.
The area is pretty nice, and they are predominantly Tibetan Buddhist, so cool area.
Otherwise, culturally, it kind of takes cues from Tibet, you know, the whole, like, Buddhism thing going on. There's quite a few Buddhists here. People here are super friendly. They're famous for their wood carvings and their carpets. Assam, capital Dispur. Now, if you watched the India episode, you'll know that I talked about the 7 sisters in northeast India. Assam is kind of like the big sister. This place is known for
Yeah, she does appear to be a bit larger than the others. And yeah, I think they're known for tea.
Disputably having the nicest tea and silk. And the silks are kind of made based off of what they actually feed the silkworms. It's interesting. They're also known for preserving the incredibly rare one-horned Indian rhinoceros. And the longest bridge opened up in 2017 over here as well. Assam. It's awesome. Bihar. Capital.
I like it.
Patna. This is kind of like the Buddha state. Lots of famous sites for Buddha.
That is really cool. I want to see where it is again exactly. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, and it has the symbols on the flag that are commonly associated with Buddhism. That's cool.
Patna. This is kind of like the Buddha state. Lots of famous sites for Buddhism. Supposedly they have the Bodhi tree that Siddhartha Gautama sat under. Otherwise, on the Hindu side, I was told that they're very big on Ram and Krishna. I was also told that they're very hardworking people. Chhattisgarh, capital Naya Raipur. From what I was told, this is kind of like a somewhat militant-ish type of area. They're known for producing a lot of coal, and they are kind of one of the poorest states. And there is a noticeable community of people that kind of have Maoist/Naxal ideologies, and it kind of clashes with the main Indian government. But otherwise, generally the people here are just nice, but there's just a little bit of controversy, that's all. Goa. This is the Vegas of India. It was a former Portuguese colony, and now it's known for having a ton of Russian tourists that just flock over and take over everything. Great beaches, bars.
Yeah, I've heard about the beaches in Goa.
Cool things happening. But the funny thing is, the people in Goa, like the
celebrate Carnival.
Actual citizens are pretty chill and normal. It's just the tourists that give it the crazy vibe. But yeah, Goa, it's like where everybody wants to go to for a vacation. You want to go to Goa. Yeah. Gujarat, capital Gandhinagar. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is from here. Now this place is famous for a few things. First of all, it's kind of like a desert, and they have one of the largest salt deserts in the world. They have this forest, which has the last of the Asiatic lions in the world. Oh, I forgot, Gandhi was also from here. They are voted the #1 ease of business state in India. The people here are very good at doing business, and they're really good at trading. No alcohol is allowed in this state, but that's okay because they go to one of the union territories that we'll talk about later. But yeah, basically, people that can handle money really well come from Gujarat. Haryana,
not a fan of that law. Not a fan of that law, though. But you know, I mean, sometimes I guess you can't really do anything about it. But I mean, I don't know if they're going to repeal that alcohol law anytime soon. But yeah, haven't heard about this before. You know, I mean, if you ban drinking, people will find a way around it. So I don't know. Anyway, let's continue.
Long story. Haryana, I was told, is kind of like the rougher, tougher brother of Punjab. It's known as like the wrestling and boxing capital of India. And they have one of the highest male to female sex ratios, like there's more men than women. And this place is famous for having a lot of people that are...
That might be due to, you know, getting rid of their female children at birth, which is unfortunate. I've heard something like that before, but yeah. Hopefully they can balance it out.
Hired to become bodyguards for other people in other states, like...
Also the town of Asola, Fatehpur, Beri, and New Delhi. Interesting.
This is the bodyguard state. Himachal Pradesh, which has...
Himachal. Yeah, it's very nice. Shimla and Dharamsala are where the Dalai Lama lives. And Shimla is very nice, I've heard. Cool weather. With some like European style buildings. Lots of tourism, yeah. Heard Himachal is very nice.
Two capitals, the summer one, Shimla, and the winter one, Dharamshala. This is kind of known as the state that hosts the Dalai Lama, but it's actually kind of known as like the beautiful holiday destination that Indians love to visit. It's known as the abode of snow, one of the snowiest places in all of India. Culture-wise, again, they take a lot of cues from their Tibetan neighbors up north. But yeah, cool state, lots of culture, lots of beautiful landscape. People like to visit for vacations. Jammu and Kashmir also has two capitals, the summer one, Srinagar, and the winter one, Jammu. I have to be very, very careful with this one. Why? Because if you watch the India episode, you'll know that Pakistan and China and India are all kind of vying for ownership of this one area. Basically, the area that is kind of operated by India, we'll talk about. Besides Lakshadweep, it has the highest percentage of Muslims in all of India at about 68%. It used to be ruled under these princely states. And it's funny because like the people here are so nice and welcoming, even though they've gone through like multiple wars. But yeah, it's like the world's most beautiful conflict zone. Jharkhand, capital Ranchi. It's kind of like the sibling of Chhattisgarh. A lot of the people here kind of also have the same Maoist ideology. However, it also does have one of the holiest sites in Jainism. Well, how do you pronounce it? The Shikharji, known for having a lot of minerals that they mine, and famous cricketer Dhoni came from here as well. Karnataka, capital Bengaluru, formerly known as Bangalore. The capital, Bengaluru, is kind of known as like the Silicon Valley of India. So many IT companies and startups are coming out in this city, and
I've always heard that South India was pretty like friendly to IT and startups and such. South India is pretty prosperous compared to North India.
The lowest unemployment rate in all of India at less than 1%. Otherwise, they're known for having the Hampi ruins, and they speak Kannada, or is that how you pronounce? I was told it's pronounced Kannada, but some people have said Canada. Like, what is it? Kerala, capital Tiruvananthapuram. Say that
complicated.
3 times fast. Tiruvananthapuram. This place is kind of famous for being known as the spot where Jesus' apostle Thomas kind of landed and spread the Christian gospel. And today, you see kind of like a lot of
kicked off in India before Europe. Yeah, I knew that. But interesting it was from that region.
Catholics and Christians, and they all kind of speak Malayalam. A little bit of a tongue twister. Say it with me. Malayalam. It's not Malayam or Malayam. It's Malayalam. Backwater is a very famous place. And yeah, Kerala is kind of like the state that's like doing pretty well overall in a lot of things like literacy and HDI.
Oh yeah, I heard there's more beef consumption in Kerala.
And all that other stuff. All the other states are like, maybe we can kind of take pointers from Kerala. Madhya Pradesh.
Well, yeah, I mean, if they're doing well, yeah. I think also the Seven Sisters region is a good area to take points from. They're very clean and eco-friendly. So Kerala and the Seven Sisters region, you can probably take some points on just, to apply that to the other regions.
Capital Bhopal, the heart of India, the history state with tons of religious and historical sites.
That's cool.
You have the Bhimbetka rock shelters. You have the Khajuraho temples, which kind of depicts all those, Kama Sutra, sexually explicit images going on. A lot of you have told me to mention the Bhopal gas tragedy that happened in 1980.
Oh, that's unfortunate. But yeah, they should really make sure to preserve that history, those architecture. It's important to the history of India. They should preserve that well. But yeah, this is kind of sad what happened here, I guess.
And I was also told that the people here seem to be really big devotees of Ganesh. Maharashtra, capital Mumbai. This is the richest state and the second most populous, third largest in area.
Richest state, yeah, because they have the most populous city, huh? I'd imagine that contributes.
Yeah. It's kind of like the New York and Los Angeles of India. It's like the economic hub and the entertainment hub. Bollywood is over here. Tons of people flock over to pursue their dreams. I mean, aside from all that, though, they do have a lot of like Marathi forts and like historical sites as well. But yeah, Maharashtra is kind of like the central nucleus that everything kind of builds off of and expands outwards from. It pushes India forward. Manipur, capital Imphal. This is one of the Seven Sister States. A lot of the people here, just like all the other Seven Sisters, have a little bit more of like an East Asian look to them. They're known for having their own distinct hill tribes. 5-time world amateur boxing champion Mary Kom came from here. They're also known for having these cool floating islands. Islands and
those floating islands look interesting.
Meghalaya, capital Shillong.
I was Meghalaya. That's a cool sounding name.
This is known as the abode of rain, and they're kind of like the water people of India. These two villages get the most rain in all of India. They have really interesting
Yeah, I've heard that region gets a lot of rain.
matrilineal tribes, and they have really cool foggy hills. But yeah, cool hill people with their own customs, and the water people. Mizoram, capital Aizawl, the land of blue mountains. This is the most forested state in all of India at over 90%. Pretty eco-friendly. They even have eco tours. It's kind of like the Costa Rica of India. The people here are just really chill, and they just kind of like sell their handicrafts at the market. All right, so that's the halfway point. Just very quickly before we move on to the next one, just want to say thank you to Cetera, our sponsor for this video. Cetera is a really cool geography learning game that you can actually download on Android or iOS at this link right here, or you can just go to the website and play. There are tons of games you can choose from. Here you got a lot of things like regions, physical landscapes, capitals.
I've done that. I've done this type of game before. It's actually kind of fun to test your geography like that.
It also comes in 34 different languages. It's really fun. I totally recommend you guys check it out. Go to online.cetera.com.
I've definitely done it before.
Capital Kohima. This is like the most Christian state of India. Cetera.com. Nagaland.
Nagaland. Yeah, it was fun. Nagaland had a cool name as well. You know, like Naga, the big giant snake/dragon. But yeah, Nagaland. Capital Kohima. Capital Kohima. This is like the most Christian state of India, but they also still kind of retain their own indigenous. Yeah, and I mean, I heard there's a lot of Christian missionaries that go there, and kind of do things. Not exactly a fan of that, but you know. Maintaining your own traditions and cultures is important.
Tribal cultures and customs, famous for the Hornbill Festival. And it's funny because, like, they're very westernized, but they know that
I heard Naga people are sort of related to the Thai people. I think they're part of that, like, language group and whatnot. So yeah, I think they're related to the Thai people. Because, I mean, Thai people are also in, Northeast India, of course. They're in Thailand. They're in Laos. They're in parts of China. So yeah, the Thai people are actually spread pretty far across Asia. But yeah.
Tourists come in, and so they kind of have to like put on their traditional costumes and put on a.
But yeah, I mean, they are Indian though. The Nagas are Indian. Proud to be Indian.
Show, but it's like, hey, whatever makes us money. Odisha, formerly known as Orissa, capital Bhubaneswar.
They put on stuff for the tourists, so.
Known as the land of cyclones. It's also known for being like the ISRO's launch site for their satellite programs. This is one of the 3 states that never broke up throughout all of Indian statehood history.
Cool.
It's kind of known as like the state that bridges the north and south. They speak the Oriya language. They have an amazing wetland and mangrove park where you can find like tigers and elephants. Probably the most famous landmark being the Sun Temple of Konark. Punjab, capital Chandigarh.
Punjab, now that's a cool region.
Keep in mind, this is only part of the larger Punjab territory, which is also shared with Pakistan.
Oh yeah, there's like a whole Punjab region. I heard, it kind of split up. And there's some other states have, Punjab people as well. But yeah, you know, if you have smaller states, it might be easier to manage it.
A lot of you guys had stuff to say about Punjab. Overall, a lot of you said that Punjab is probably the most loved state in India, partially thanks to Bollywood. They got really good food, really nice people. They have the largest Sikh community.
That sounds accurate, yeah.
In all of India. They also have the holiest site in Sikhism, the Golden Temple. And there's a ton of forts and palaces like this one.
I mean, Sikhs are great people. Very kind.
Rajasthan, capital Jaipur.
Raja, that's cool. King. I mean, yeah, Raja means king, so it's cool. It's a cool name.
The land of Rajas, or kings. It's the largest state in area at 341 square kilometers. It is also one of the states that never broke up, and there are just endless forts and palaces found in this state. It has things like a camel fair. Supposedly, I was told they have like the best henna artists. Keep in mind, food-wise, they keep things very spicy, and it is, at about 75% of the population, the most vegetarian state in India.
That's good.
Vegetarian kings in the sand. Sikkim, capital Gangtok. Now,
oh yeah, I want to go there. Also very Tibetan Buddhist.
Vegetarian state in India. Vegetarian kings in the sand. Sikkim, capital.
Oh wow, they have a really cool emblem and like some nice artwork right there.
Gangtok. Now this is an interesting one because it kind of joined India in 1975.
Oh yeah, I heard they voted to join India.
To kind of avoid the Chinese. It used to be its own
makes sense, sort of.
kingdom, and these people are very similar to the people of Bhutan. They can kind of generally understand each other's languages. Lots of Tibetan
and Bhutan and India are also very friendly.
Buddhist type of culture going on here as well. And it is, as of right now, the most environmentally friendly state in all of India. It is almost completely organic. As in, they don't believe in using chemicals or pesticides in their agriculture. Very clean air. They love nature, and they love, it's kind of like the Bhutan of India. Tamil Nadu, capital Chennai. Now, if you want real, like, South Dravidian Indian culture, you come here. This is like straight up the southern capital of India. The main language they speak, of course, is Tamil, which is completely unintelligible to Hindi. They have so many temples, including the largest...
Yeah, I know a few Tamil speakers. It's a cool place, very hot.
...functioning Hindu temple in the world. Technically, Angkor Wat is a bigger Hindu...
Pretty sure they have a lot of coconut. Very coconut and rice heavy diet.
Temple, but it's no longer active, so it kind of doesn't count. I was told they are big fans of Rajnikant. Telangana, capital Hyderabad, the youngest state of India. They literally split up from Andhra Pradesh in 2014. I was told it's kind of like the whole, Catalina, Spain thing, where they're like, hey, we're making a lot of money, but you guys are dragging us down, so we're gonna kind of split off and make our own thing. And then Andhra Pradesh was like, no, you can't do that. And they're like, yes, we can, and we're gonna take Hyderabad. They're like, no, you can't do that. And like, yes, we can. Make your own capital. Yeah, messy divorce. Anyway, they're also famous for Tollywood or Telugu Hollywood. And it's interesting because they still kind of retain a little bit of the Persian culture that was brought over from the Mughals and Nizams. You can find it in things like the painting and their shadow puppets. Tripura, capital Agartala. I was told, is this even India? It's like the state that very few people even know much about. It's like all sides of their state are surrounded by Bangladesh. So no shocker, they have a lot of Bangladeshi immigrants. Apparently I was told they like to play horse polo. But yeah, I think out of all the states, they are kind of like the biggest anomaly. It's just like the mystery state. People probably come here to hide out and avoid the authorities when they're on the loose. I don't know. Uttar Pradesh, capital Lucknow. This is the Taj Mahal state. And it's kind of like oh dang, where did that baby boom come from? You guys just like exploded in population in the past few years. And now it is the most populous state. It's also home to Varanasi, one of the most famous cities in the world for Hinduism, Jains, and Buddhists. And yeah, a lot of fertile land over here, lots of spices and agriculture happen in this state. Very key important player in all of India. You cannot have India without Uttar Pradesh. Uttarakhand, capital Dehradun. This place actually has some of the holiest sites in all of Hinduism. It has the Jim Corbett National Park, beautiful mountains. Again, I was told these people are super nice, very welcoming. And I was specifically told to tell you guys that Urvashi Rautela is from this state. West Bengal, capital Calcutta, or Kolkata. They changed the spelling. This is the last state that never broke up in all of India. Technically, if you consider the fact that it broke up from East.
Yeah, from Bangladesh itself. So that's interesting, yeah. I mean, because Bengal used to be its own region and had one of the highest GDPs in the world before the British came, so interesting.
Bengal, which became Bangladesh, but yeah. These people are kind of also known for having some of the best sweets in all of India, and they're also known for having some of the best literature and academics, some of the greatest minds from India.
Yeah, it makes sense, and they were one of the richest places for a long time.
India, like this guy came from here. They're also known for being very strong devotees to Durga. Sweets and academics, West Bengal. Now we reach the Union Territories. The Andaman and Nicobar Islands, capital Port Blair. This place is known for being home to one of the last uncontacted human tribes on Earth, the Sentinel.
Yeah, I remember there was a story about this.
You are not allowed to visit their island. It's also home to India's own.
I heard recently a missionary was killed.
Only volcano. Chandigarh. Now this is interesting. It's the capital of both Punjab and Haryana, but it's also a union territory in itself. Basically, this was a planned city that was built because they gave Lahore.
Oh yeah, I heard about, I think Chandigarh was a planned city. I think it was like a college city or something. I'm not sure. Lahore. By they, I mean both sides agreed on it during partition.
To Pakistan. And it was kind of made to be like a model of affordable housing in India. It's a new...
That's sort of what I heard.
...city. Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu. There's the interesting thing. Gujarat, like I mentioned, does not allow alcohol. Maharashtra does. So where do they meet in the middle? These union territories. These places are kind of known as like the places where both states can kind of join together and have a beer. And Tamanantiu, I think it was also Portuguese, wasn't it? Yeah. Lakshadweep means 100 islands. Basically, in a nutshell, the majority of people here are Muslim, and they're very similar to the people of the Maldives. You find a lot of atolls and a lot of people living on these narrow sandbanks, and they have like an island culture. The capital territory of Delhi. Keep in mind, this is a separate entity from New Delhi. But yeah, this is kind of basically where all the politicians go and the worst drivers in India, I was supposedly told. And even though they are a territory, they still have their own legislative assembly. It's weird. But yeah, busy people making laws, causing controversy for the rest of the country. And finally, Puducherry, capital Pondicherry. This is the French-speaking area of India. And here you can also find Auroville, the hippie village.
Yeah, I heard some stuff about that.
Where all the people kind of came together and they wanted to make their own utopia. But then there was a little bit of controversy, but yeah, look into it. But yeah, French-speaking
Yeah, look into it. It's pretty interesting.
Indians. And that is that! Once again, thank you to you guys, all the Indian geography peeps that helped me out with this video by giving information. I hope I got most of it right. But yeah, in a nutshell, India has so many different types of people groups and languages and cultures and traditions and customs. It's like you can't summarize it all in one video, and obviously this one didn't even scratch the surface. But for what it's worth,
yeah, true.
Beautiful country, and I'm so glad and honored to have done this video. Thank you, stay cool, stay tuned.
I mean, I think that was a great video. Definitely enjoyed it. Learned some new stuff, and was able to elaborate on a few things. Hope you found it interesting, at least my reaction to it. And if you enjoyed my reaction, you can always like this video and subscribe to the channel. That would help out. And the original video will be in the description if you want to support Geography Now. Please do. Yeah, so thank you for watching. Bye-bye.